What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 20th day of September, and here we are sitting at about $2.99 with 8 hours and 32 minutes left in this day. I very much do believe that XRP has found its low, like a higher low. I mean, obviously, we found our low back here at the first day of September, but I think that we have found our higher low in this range here. What I'm looking for is some kind of horizontal consolidation range like this, where we're just moving sideways like this, continuing to move sideways, and I would assume that we hold support here, continue to move up. Maybe we break out, maybe we consolidate a little bit, and then we break out, but I would doubt that we return higher, return lower, and then break out later, right? I think that we're going to break out sometime next week, probably Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday next week. We should be breaking out of this range, and when we do, I would assume that we see a very similar move to the move that we got going into this range, right? Something like this. So if we were to take that measurement, that rough measurement there, put it at the base of this range, that could take us up to about $3.50 or higher, $3.45, let's say, or higher by the end of this month of September. So again, pressing the idea that we'll be either at new all-time highs or around new all-time highs by the end of the month. I really could see XRP taking off at a faster pace because, again, you're not just breaking out of this horizontal channel here. You'd also be breaking out of this overall consolidative phase that we've been in since July. And then whenever we break out of this, it's a cascade, it's a chain reaction, right? You break out of the small phase, you break out of the larger phase. You break out of the larger phase, you're breaking out of the overall consolidation phase that you've been in since last December, right? It's a cascade of events. So this point here, whenever we take out that like $3.15 price, maybe we continue to move at the same pace that we've moved all month, and we just, we get to like 345, 350 by the end of the month, or maybe the pace picks up because, again, it's a chain reaction of things to come, right? You break out of this, you're breaking out of the small range. You break out of that, you're breaking out of the larger range. If you're breaking out of that, you're breaking out of the overall range. And just it's with that kind of reaction, we could see some kind of massive pop where XRP in 1 week's time, maybe next week, or certainly by the end of the month, is up another 24%, 30%, whatever. We could see some crazy growth stuff. Growth that we haven't seen since, last year, since November, December times. So that's kind of what I'm expecting over the coming weeks. Essentially what I'm expecting over the coming weeks. If not some kind of massive pop, then at least from here we're at $3, at least a move that would take us to about 50 cents higher than where we are now. If we're looking at this on the short-term time frames, the 1 hour time frame here, zooming in, I mean, look at that reaction. That's nice, right? That's a good reaction there. Dramatic support right off that area. Yes, we found a little bit of a lower price today, Saturday, but I think that that's fine. Is today green or red? It's neutral. It's kind of a neutral day, but that's what you get on the weekend. I wouldn't expect too much to happen over the weekend. 1 hour time frame here. RSI suggesting that we do want to move higher. You're breaking out of your downtrend. You're forming an uptrend. What I like about this too on the RSI is that you're setting up. I mean, look at how pronounced this uptrend was here, right? Higher lows, higher highs. Look at how pronounced that was, right? And the movement up that took place, in all fairness, it actually wasn't that impressive. To be completely fair, it wasn't that impressive. This is not typical, okay? What I will say is that this is not typical. Whenever you get a range like this, it's more pronounced versus a range like this, it's less pronounced. Typically, the bigger move, the larger move would actually be to the upside, but it's almost like the downward move was bigger, right? It was more tenacious. It happened faster. This one took more time, but this one was definitely a stronger move. But nonetheless, getting back to the point of what I'm trying to say is that it looks like we're setting up for another kind of more solid range here with higher lows and higher highs like this, a little bit more significant looking than this one here, which this might have been a bad example, but typically these larger ranges provide more growth, not less growth or similar growth, right? Like you typically do get more. So I think that this is nice. We're about to form an uptrend. That's really what I'm establishing here, and it looks like we do want to continue going higher. So I bet, but between now and the end of the day, we probably do move higher, unless of course, if we close below, I would say if this hour or any hour closes below like 298, then maybe we are moving lower. But I personally don't see that happening. Stochastics look like they want to go higher. MACD looks like it wants to go higher. Bullish on all fronts on the 1 hour time frame here. The 4 hour time frame, the RSI does have lower lows. The price does not have lower lows. We actually have higher lows on a closing basis, so that's hidden bullish divergence. 27 minutes left in this 4-hour candle, reinforcing the idea that we do hold this area as support and we do move up higher. That's a nice bottoming candle right there. And overall, we have a higher low here, just kind of moving sideways in this range. The lower low in the RSIs, the higher lows in the price is a dead giveaway in my opinion. We're at this area where we are oversold in the stochastics. There's no bullish implication there other than I guess both of these oscillators are pointed up, which is nice. Maybe by the end of the day, going into tomorrow, we could be crossed out of the oversold zone into the band, and Sunday could be a good day. Maybe Sunday's going to be a good day, you guys. The MACD is worthless because we've been moving sideways. It's on the 4-hour time frame, so it's not going to help us out here. It doesn't really look bearish or bullish. It's neutral, but even that in itself is worthless. But just the fact that we've moved sideways, it's not going to provide solid readings, right? You're decaying in bearish momentum, so that's good. But you're below the zero, not by too much. That's bad. But the last time you did this exact thing, you just kind of moved sideways, and then inevitably you moved up higher. So we'll see how it goes. And that was kind of at the beginning. That was at like Monday, Sunday time frame there. Overall, though, bullish still on the 4-hour as well, as long as we can move higher and we don't close this hour below 298. Okay, looking at the daily time frame here, we do have higher highs in the RSI with lower highs in the price. That is hidden bearish divergence, but I think we've already seen that move kind of take place. That's what this consolidation is. We didn't reject, we just found some turbulence here, and I think we're getting ready to pop and break out higher of this overall range that we've been in since July now. The stochastics do have lower lows with the RSI having lower lows as well, and you do have lower lows in the price as well on a closing basis. Bouncing off the 50 here, bouncing off the 50 here would be very positive to see. If not, it is completely possible that XRP goes lower. We could talk about that real quick. I don't think it's going to happen, but we could talk about it in case it does. Low to high. My expectation, if we were to see lower prices and if everything I've said up to this point is wrong, then we would probably find support at about 287 to 284. Okay, somewhere in that zone at the golden ratio. Prior resistance there, prior support there. That would be where we find support. Move on down, golden ratio, support, and then move on up, right? Something like that. It's not too dramatic. It's pretty simple, and then we'll move back up. But I don't think that's going to happen. I want to be very clear. I don't think it's going to happen. I think what we're going to do is find support here and move higher. That doesn't mean that we're breaking out today or tomorrow, but I would just think that we hold support here over the weekend. I don't think that we go lower, if that's clear. Hopefully that's clear. The MACD crossing above the zero is a very positive thing as well. We are coming down looking like you want to cross, but I don't think you will. Oftentimes enough, and I mean, even if you do, it might be an insignificant cross like this. Oftentimes enough when you're trending higher, you come down, it's like you're going to touch, but you don't, and then you continue to build. Let's see if we can find another example of that. You know, like this right here or this right here. That's just kind of common. Same thing to the downside, right? You do that same kind of dynamic. So I really wouldn't be surprised at all if we were seeing this grow over the days to come. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, at least to any significant degree, but going into next week and going into the end of this month, I definitely believe that we'll be breaking out. We should see prices all the way up at 345 or higher. Once you get above this price here, I know we were talking about 315 being an area to watch, 313, 315. Once you break up above that on a daily closing basis, I think it will be exciting. But truly, the exciting point would be this middle kind of high here, this last high that we had. So once you get above there, you've got a higher high. There's no way to cut it at that point, that you have taken out this trend, that you are now in a higher high situation with, well, lower lows, I guess, but higher lows here. And at that point, everybody and their mother is talking about new all-time highs, right? That's all that we have to consider. If we're looking at this on the weekly time frame, we look at the indicators. The stochastics are bouncing off the 50. The RSI is bouncing off the 50. The weekly MACD is crossing red, which isn't necessarily concerning because, again, sometimes you get that minor cross. There's a little red there, and then you still bounce off, right? It's not the worst thing that can happen, but it does promote a sense of urgency that you need to see some growth here pretty soon, because if we're just moving sideways for the next couple of weeks, that could promote a likelihood that XRP is going to move down and not up. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I would expect that the end of this month is going to be positive, not neutral, and certainly not negative. And of course, we could still, because this week is not over yet, we have a day and 9 hours left, we could still save the day and not have a red cross, a bearish cross here on the MACD. But we would need to come up, close this week green, and probably even a little bit more than that. We'd probably need to get above like $3.10 over the next day and 9 hours. So hopefully we can do that. All in all, I very much do expect that XRP has fantastic growth to go over the coming days, over the coming weeks. by the end of this year and going into the end of the cycle. Again, we compare what this kind of consolidation phase was back here. It's like a wedge, right? We've got the same thing going on here with your lower highs, higher lows, right? Very similar pattern. You moved up, you consolidated for a good bit, and then you moved up higher, right? This was from, come on now, basically May of 2017, and then we broke out in December. June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That's 7 months, right? Here, we got up here in December. Really, we topped off in January. It's the 9th month now. We've been consolidating even longer than what we did here. I think that we're primed, we're poised, we're ready. We're going to see a move that's very similar to what we saw here, except overall, I think it might be larger, right? Maybe not in as short of an amount of time. But if we take this here, we take that kind of measurement, we put it at the base here, or maybe at the breakout point right there. That would put us all the way up at about 34 bucks. I think overall XRP has higher prices than that to go to by the end of the cycle. 40 bucks, $70, something in that range, but something similar to that. But I don't think that it'll take a month to achieve. I think it'll be multiple months from here to the end of the cycle till April, May. Anyways, I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.